What's cracking, everybody? Zerfel Rose and Maggie here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. Look at that smiling face. Look at that sterling smiling face. What a cute child you are. This is my first set of battles after hitting Legend. I took some time off, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to have some fun. So, I built this team here because I was getting really tired of everybody running Snorlax safe swap, and guess what? As soon as I started running the team, they practically disappeared. And all of the ice types and everything else that wasn't being seen before I played this team came out of the woodwork. So, yes, this team is spicy. This is not exactly going to be what I would call a meta team, but you know what? It was fun to use, and I love Hydreigon and Ursuluna, and I built them just for this rotation because I have no control over my dust spending. So, let's just check out the battles and get into it. Why don't we do that? So, here we go. We got the first battle here. We're going to have Chandelure into Metagross. You love to see it. This is exactly what I want to see because this whole team beats Metagross pretty much. That's kind of what I did it for. So, Dragonite comes in, and this is kind of tough. So, I'm going to go and throw the Shadow Ball here at this Dragonite to try and chip it or get an early shield. And then I'm going to come in with my Ursuluna, either with a shield advantage or with a nice health advantage and just tackle farm down. And now the nice thing about this is that I can live this superpower if I want to. I just built this Ursuluna, so I had no idea how much damage this does. Ursuluna is actually surprisingly tanky. How come as soon as we start the video, you decide you want to do this? You were sitting very fine in my lap until we started doing it. You're ridiculous. And you can see my eldest in the background. She is showing off. She's like little springy chicken legs over here. Anyway, I'm going to go for this high horsepower. In hindsight, I probably should have just gone for a Thunder Punch bait because they've got two shields and this threatens the KO and there's no chance. But you know what? Doesn't matter because they took it. Takes him out, and now I've got Thunder Punch loaded for this Gyarados. They're going to have to let in. I mean, normally I would have baited, and I should have. But in this case, it was good that I didn't. Thunder Punch is going to get a shield, and because this is a Waterfall Gyarados, my Hydreigon absolutely destroys it. And that's why I picked Hydreigon, because it goes well with Chandelure, and it completely walls the Waterfall Gyarados that aren't running Outrage. So, yeah, this is basically a win, and then that's it. That's the game. So, well played. And this is just a conglomeration of battles. I didn't go and have any great sets with this team. I was just having some fun. So this isn't really a climbing team unless you see a lot of people running the Snorlax safe swap, in which case feel free to try it. You could probably do a slightly better version of the team, something like, I don't know, Excadrill over Ursuluna. You could probably put Excadrill over Hydreigon. You could put anything over Chandelure that beats Metagross, honestly. And you're probably in good shape. I really wanted to play these Pokemon. I just really enjoyed them. And this is the last time I'm going to get to do that in this classic format, so I figured why not bust out a little bit and have some fun. So, yeah, so this is why I like Ursuluna, though. And I think Ursuluna is probably the star of the show, even though I put Hydreigon on the thumbnail. I just love Hydreigon. I wanted to put a thumbnail. It's like one of my top 6. Like, if I had a personal Pokemon team, I would have Hydreigon in that team. Hydreigon, I don't know how to say it. But Ursuluna is probably the star of the show, being the safe swap on this team. Thunder Punches just clap Gyarados' lights out. And then I'm going to be able to come with my Hydreigon and just farm down. But Ursuluna is actually really bulky. You'd be surprised. You'll see later on, I think, in these battles, how much damage, like, superpowers and stuff will do. It only does, like, 55% to Ursuluna. It's nuts. So, get the good leads here against the Togekiss. My opponent swaps in the Snorlax, and this is what this team is built for, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody running the Togekiss or they're running the Metagross with the Snorlax safe swap. Ursuluna and Hydreigon both destroy this thing, but I'm going to keep my own Hydreigon safe in the back because I know that my Ursuluna can tank a superpower. But again, I didn't know that beforehand, so I'm over here shielding, you know, body slams and stuff sometimes. Not this time, though. Thankfully, I called that. But I'm going to shield this up, because now once they land a body slam, I'm pretty sure I'm, like, within range. You're adorable. She sees something's on TV, and suddenly she's not interested in me anymore.
I mean, who wants Daddy when you've got the Rescuers?
Yeah, who wants Daddy when the Rescuers are on TV, man? This is one of their favorite shows. They have such a great... Disney Plus is not a sponsor of this video, but they are like the best investment for anybody with children, all right? I'm going to just say that right now. I keep these kids happy for at least an hour when I need to because they have Disney. Anyway, yeah, so we completely beat the socks off of the Snorlax. And Ursuluna is going to throw Thunder Punches at Gyarados, which is what it does best. And I love it. And so the opponent is going to shield that up, their last shield. And guess what? They have a Waterfall Gyarados, which is going to get hard countered by Hydreigon. Yep, here he comes after the switch timer's out. And that's going to take care of this because the opponent knows they have nothing they can do because they usually just run Aqua Tail and Crunch. They didn't see Hydreigon coming. So this is like one of my absolute like just anti-meta teams that I'm running. But they got the Outrage, and you know what? Hydreigon lived with like 1 HP. With 1 HP. And so this Togekiss here is going to Charm and Charm and Charm. I'm going to get up to 2 moves. The opponent did not CMP. The Charm just took a little bit to show up. So I'm going to go for a Flame Charge here. I'm going to go for a Flame Charge there. And then I'm going to hope that the Gyarados doesn't have a move. Because all I need is just one fast move. No, I don't need a fast move. This person's going to clap my cheeks. I'm hoping I have a Brutal Swing loaded, which I thankfully do on the Hydreigon, and that is going to be able to allow me to KO my opponent. Very close game, though. That was a nail biter if I've ever seen one. Well played in my opponent. And you can see the IVs of this team. They're not hundos. They're just the best of what I've got, and I'm not really willing to wait around for a hundo, because they're all probably good enough. And I get the spicy lead. This person's running a Smackdown Chestnut in the lead, and they catch my Flame Charge on the Dragonite. I should have just thrown the freaking Shadow Ball. And I actually started doing that, and then I would start getting my Shadow Balls caught on Snorlax. So I don't know what to do with that. But anyway, Hydreigon's going to come in here, because if I invest 1 shield, my Hydreigon will be able to farm down this Dragonite, or I could Brutal Swing and hopefully get a shield from them. That's pretty much all I'm going to look to do here is I'm going to farm down, have some energy loaded and ready, just in case they come in with something that's not so great. But I have to wait and see, because, I mean, they had Chestnut in the lead. Who the heck knows what's behind this team? So they come in with a Gyarados, and it looks like that Gyarados has Dragon Breath, so that's not as good for me. The Chandelure now has one really nice target, and I'm able to get to this Brutal Swing right before going down, which is amazing. So Brutal Swing is going to come through. Again, that's not huge heavy hitting damage. It's a fairly mild move, but it still does what it needs to do. But look at how much damage this Aqua Tail does. This is an Aqua Tail from a Gyarados, and even though Aqua Tail is not an amazing move, look at how well Ursuluna tanks that move. All right, so the opponent is going to be able to get to a move here, whether it's Frenzy Plant or Superpower. I'm going to respect it, but now I know because they're running Smackdown, it's going to take them a little bit to get to that next move. So what I'm hoping to do is I'm going to look to farm down this Chestnut. And I don't know how close is going to be. My Chandelure hangs on with 1 HP. Look at that, man. That's crazy. She's staring right at it. She's like, whoa, Dad, I can't believe that happened. So we're going to be able to get to the Shadow Ball with the Chandelure, get that last shield, and then just barely going to be able to get to the... I think that was a CMP tie, to be honest. We're going to barely be able to get to the Thunder Punch and take out the Gyarados, and that is going to be a good game. Well played. Now, if you're in the middle of this video and you're enjoying it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because we're doing stuff like this all the time. And if you're looking to get some coaching by myself, I have a Metafy link in the description. You can get some coaching to help take your game to the next level, whether that's going to be, you know, maybe some lessons, you want to get some live coaching from myself, or really anything, honestly, able to help with any aspect of PvP in this game. Check out the link to the Metafy in the description. And if you are looking to join one of the best, if not the best, honestly, I think it's the best, communities of Pokemon Go PvP players in my Patreon Discord, it's just less than $5 USD a month, or you could do more if you want to do a different tier, but really amazing group we've got going on in there. Plus, you get access to all of my teams, all of my meta analysis tips, literally everything goes in that Discord for pretty much everybody to see. And you don't even have to be... You don't even have to do anything else for it. Just be a part of the Discord. So anyway, Florges is definitely something I don't want to see in the back. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to let my Chandelure handle it. And I kind of have to see this through. But now that this Florges has thrown all of its energy, I think I could survive the Disarming Voice here. But instead I just let it go, and I can't because Chandelure is super glassy. And my opponent has a Conkeldurr, and now they've also got a Metagross. So this is actually looking really not good. But because they have no shields, Brutal Swing does plenty of damage to us. Metagross, because of that psychic typing, does good amount. I could farm down with my Ursuluna here if they go for the Meteor Mash, and that's going to allow me to get to a high horsepower against the Conkeldurr, and because I believe I still have a shield, I'm going to be able to farm down and go for the high horsepower. That should do a lot. High horsepower does a lot of damage. We're going to see how much damage does Conkeldurr right now. I will farm I'll farm up to the high horsepower. I will shield their move because I know they're running either Dynamic Punch, Stone Edge, etc. All fairly expensive moves. Look how much damage the high horsepower did. They didn't even get to 2 moves. That was amazing. Like, Ursuluna is really, really good. And I might actually bump this. I have like no Pokemon. I have literally no Pokemon at level 50 for Master League. So for Master Premier, I'm high-key thinking about putting Ursuluna up with my Hundo Snorlax. Now, the reason why you don't see my Hundo Snorlax is because it's not best buddied, and I've been told that's bad because Gyarados poo-poos all over it without the best buddy boost. So, and I didn't have the foresight to do it before this rotation, so that's my fault. But anyway, this person is running a Dragon Breath Gyarados, which is really bad for my Hydreigon, but like, I come in with it because it's the better thing to do. It puts the Gyarados in a position where my Ursuluna can come in and possibly farm down. And that, honestly, that energy on Ursuluna is really, really important. And I can shield one move if I want to preserve some HP on my Ursuluna. I'm getting the Gyarados out of the way of the Chandelure now, which is really nice. Because honestly, it's just not something that I need to deal with my Chandelure. And guess what? They got a Metagross in the back, and that means that I'm going to be able to go for this high horsepower here after getting some farm. And I'm really hoping they try and call bait and save that shield, knowing that I have a Chandelure in the lead. But that's up to them if they want to take it. But they do decide to shield it, which was really smart by them. But I am going to try and go for this high horsepower after shielding up my Ursuluna. And that is going to be what I'm hoping to do. Now, whether or not I can actually do it, I don't know. I'm going to try to throw in the middle of their move, and I am able to successfully throw this high horsepower at this Metagross. Absolutely clap its cheeks, and then Dragonite's going to come in, and now I'm like, ah, crap, what do I do about this? Now, thankfully, because of the moveset on my Chandelure, or not the moveset, on the moveset on the Dragonite, I know that they have to go for the Dragon Claw. They can't go for Superpower, and that does not KO my Chandelure from here, but if they have enough for another move after this and the Shadow Ball doesn't KO, then I'm SOL. I did bank the Thunder Punch just in case they aren't on a move, but we're going to see. Going to go for the Thunder Punch on Ursuluna, unfortunately. Lose CMP to the Dragonite, which did indeed have a move loaded, so well played to my opponent. That was a ridiculously difficult line for me to overcome, and team comped, lol. Okay, anyway. Going into this next game here, we've got Chandelure on the lead versus Dragonite. This is terrible, so I'm going to go straight into my Ursuluna. And honestly, this whole team loses to Dragonite, so in hindsight, this is a really bad team comp of mine. If I see a Dragonite, I'm kind of screwed. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to go for Thunder Punches, because there's no reason for me to even go for my high horsepower, because it's a flying type Dragonite. And they come in with a Metagross, and this is where I probably should have beat. But I don't. Because I'm like, man, I'd really like to get this damage off. But if I don't bait here, I'm pretty sure I get to the high horsepower and I get to the Thunder Punch. But because of the fact that Ursuluna has Tackle, and not a lot of people probably know the counts for Tackle, I'm just going to go for the Thunder Punch right before they get to a move. And thankfully, they shield that up thinking that I was at a move. So that's able to get 2 shields. And honestly, I mean, I don't blame them. I probably would have made the same mistake because I don't know the counts for Tackle. I don't expect anybody to know that stuff. So I'm going to come in with my Chandelure here. And honestly, I'm thinking about maybe farming down.
Olivia.
And I'm going to be able to get a shield off here. Try and shield up this Earthquake. But it's Meteor Mash bait. And they are going to call it. I'm going to try and... I'm trying to farm down here. But I think they might get to a move. My opponent is going to swap out. I'm going to bring in my Dragon... Or they're going to bring in the Dragonite. I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball because I did notice it before I hit the move. And they're going to get the Shadow Ball off. Shadow Ball is going to clap the cheeks of it. And then the Hydreigon. And oh my god. Everything is going on. What's going to happen? I don't know. Hydreigon is going to be able to snipe down the Dragonite with 2 HP in a dream. And now they're going to have a freaking Excadrill in the back. And I'm like, wow, this sucks. Because I know that their Metagross is at a move, so this is looking like a good game here, but let's see if we can pull it out, because I know that I can live this drill run. I'm going to be able to go for a Brutal Swing, which does a respectable amount of damage to the Excadrill. I have to be carefully counting the opponent's energy here, making sure that they're not going to be able to get to a move against my Chandelure, and if what I can do here is if I can get to 1 more Incinerate against... Oh my goodness. English, just the words just escaped me. If I could get to one more move, the opponent's switch clock was up, unfortunately. They're going to be able to get to a move and KO my Chandelure, and that's going to be a good game. Wow. I don't know, my brain just like went off the rails for a minute there. All right, so Chandelure into Swampert. You couldn't ask for a worse lead. I can't really swap in my Ursuluna, even though I'm going to have to. And then the Swampert is just going to stay in here, and because it's like I have a good matchup here, I'm going to tank this Hydro Cannon because I want to see how much damage it does. And now my opponent comes in with Togekiss, and I've got loaded energy. So I'm going to be able to go for these Thunder Punches, and these Thunder Punches will absolutely threaten this Togekiss because of its super effective damage. Look at this. Half of the Togekiss's HP is gone already. I'm going to be able to get to another Thunder Punch before they're going to be able to charm me down. And then Chandelure can absolutely finish the job. Now, if my opponent wants to commit a shield, that's fine with me because I can commit one back to them and get a full farm down with Chandelure. Now, here's the problem with Chandelure is it's super glassy. So, yeah. I honestly wonder, I feel like if you were going to play this team in a more meta sort of strategy, maybe you put something like, you definitely want to put like Dragonite maybe over Hydreigon, because what you're looking to do here is bait out the Ice type, if there is one, and then let Chandelure get that farm down. But my opponent doesn't shield up their Swampert, and instantly, that's what the opponent's Swampert felt like when it got clapped. The opponent comes in with a Metagross, and at this point, I'm good. Because I can get their shield here with this Brutal Swing, and they don't shield it, so I'm just going to be able to farm down, and they know it. That's going to be a good game. Well played, though. I think the opponent really should have kept their Swampert alive, but thankfully, it was once I got the ability to get the Hydreigon on that Swampert, plus them not having a solid answer to Hydreigon in the back, aside from that Togekiss, that was it. So, my opponent has... This is why I started throwing Shadow Ball after I took videos. So my opponent catches on a Gyarados. I'm going to come in with my Hydreigon because they don't have any energy. I was hoping that they would have Waterfall, but they don't, of course. My opponent is going to overfarm by a bit, and I think they lose CMP here. And I'm going to throw a Brutal Swing into this Gyarados to try and force a shield first. I know that my opponent doesn't have any moves that they can use to threaten my Hydreigon, so they just let it go. And then they come in again with the Metagross. Now, I know the Metagross had exactly 7 Bullet Punches before it went down, because that's how many you can fit into 3 Incinerates while being able to still catch a move. And so I'm going to go for the Brutal Swing. I'm going to force a shield off the opponent. If they're going to go for a farm down, they're going to regret it. So they do have to throw the energy here. I will no shield. My Hydreigon has done so much work by this point. I'm good. I'll come in with my Chandelure, attempt to get a farm down, use a shield up if I have to, and if you remember, they stayed in, so I think they're core broken by the Chandelure, which means that whatever they've got in the back may not necessarily appreciate it, and they've got a Magnezone in the back, I've got an Ursuluna, and my opponent doesn't even bother to see what I do. That's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponents, this team. Again, this was not like, this is a showcase, ladies and gentlemen. This is me running some spice because I deserve it after being absolutely broken and beaten on my way up to Legend this early in the season. So anyway, no, I joke. But I did want to play with some of the spice that I had built. I wanted to test out Ursuluna. I've been itching to build my Hydreigon and play it in Master League for something, so I went ahead and did that. And I had the Chandelure built from a couple seasons ago, so I just kind of threw this together. And I did have some really good games with it, but unfortunately, like I said, it's probably not like a super good climbing team. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the battles. If you really want to try this team out, it is really fun, but again, it does kind of lose to a couple of meta-relevant things like Gyarados. So, but anyway, thanks everyone for watching. She's not even paying attention. So we'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.